GamAfrica TV, we are here in LRR on behalf of Mina Foundation. Mina is an association owned by Gambians in the diaspora that are trying to complement government efforts in the area of agriculture, such as women gardening, livestock production, poultry farming, and many other things. So this association, it normally helps women in the area of rice cultivations across the length and the breadth of this country. That is why today we are here in LRR, Lower River region, in Jarra Central, in a village called Jarra, Jappineh. In Jarra, Jappineh, there is a very large vegetable garden which is established in 2016 by EU-funded project here in Gambia. So it is among the projects established by EU in this community, Jarra, Jappineh. This garden comprised of 5 hectares, which was, of course, benefiting women, because women in this community were using this garden to grow vegetables such as cabbages, tomatoes, pepper, and the like. But today, when you look at this garden, the condition of this garden is dilapidating as a result of inadequate supply of water, as a result of inadequate supply of electricity, because the solar panels in these gardens are no more functioning, and women are crying for the government and the philanthropists or the NGOs to give a helping hand so that the garden can continue to produce goods as it was before. The women also cried that the garden was in a very good condition. But today, as you can see, different types of animals will use this garden and then to destroy many things here in this garden. In fact, the solar panel which was here, which was brought by the EU funded project when the garden was newly established, it was stolen here. So the garden was playing an important role in this community because the entire communities here, they used to come in this garden every afternoon to come and water their gardens so that they can even earn a living. So this garden played an important role in the lives of the women here in Jappineh. So the women are calling for the Gambian government and of course to the Ministry of Agriculture especially, and many philanthropists to come back and of course give a helping hand. Because without this garden, livelihood in the people of Jappineh or survival here will be very difficult, because most of the women across the land and breadth of the country, they depend entirely on the gardening, such as vegetable are growing. Also, when you look at this, in this garden also we have a poultry farm where women also were engaged in the poultry farming. They were producing chickens and of course chicken eggs likewise. But they said because of inadequate supply of water, they cannot continue to keep on farming or looking after poultry here. Why? Because this poultry, every now and then they need water. You have to be changing their water frequently. So as a result of inadequate supply of water, so the chicken or the poultry farm is no more functioning. So we are calling on the government and the philanthropists to come and then help the women here in this community called Jarra Jappineh in Jarra Central, so that the gardens can continue to flourish. When you look at this garden here, it is in fact among the biggest garden here so far. But today, when you look at the garden, no one is here. Why? Because there are many things, many problems that the people in these communities are facing, and they cannot able to solve because their income is not that much to that extent. That's why they find it very difficult to come back to this garden and make this garden to function. Factory afele bi ngol nata jang Jarra Jappineh LRR nata gari noto gari no melon ko abinun tamakane wati jang por sa nata la ngadi gari no man tamakan so nata la ka alla ko ya ko lom musatina afana se de maro soto no masakunda bulu wala mol melon ko fang isem bo so le musatina sa de manu because ngani gari no jibe garden balon anu ngala no wati so ran wabin do ko la gari no a janin mbitaje ito tori ito factory ira bora sare dimal bora Jarra Jappineh okay bi mfele jang ngari no to ngari no ay mun kuma ya sefa so ni sare to ngari no ala kuma ya wartan to ni sate ko na jambate parce que waro na ngari no nyinde ta ka wato ni wato ni dol musolo globo ka fo kala mo jama bi te na karam ko ka bi de ngari asa bi ngari no ni tinyata sa ndila fon ko ni sta ngo so ko jana sa bi ngari no tiyaru mo ka fo so mo sa adelu la karam ko ko na ko len den ko ba wana to fambe di maro ni na kam pour ni ngo mo so ni na ko se ma ko ni ko ni na ngari no ka indi mun ko abaro ni nyame kam bro ni nyame ko ni keno sa den ko se ko wadu jumale masekunda en garden na ni sarre kono isa fono mo ni garden no na jam ay sangi tandin fensi So akam to ko Jappineh sate mul be ka do ke ngari no.
Be sato bela ko do ko tija. Bela ko sato.
Mudu ngotu mola nale do ko ke nim firi fon muda ka sama mudal ka wa.
To la ni firi so na mota. So malam anim burel be mo kan ko sama.
So wotu makam to ko muso ni sare kono jangay bambe so wala place do jangi ngari no.
So muso bambe so to jang kan ko ka do. So muso masate ko den be bambe so jang kan ko ka.
Okay. Mone na raki ala kole akore because ngajele sang masimol man tama kan dulal be loring even poultry jana fon ka sisel magala jam di fana ni man tama kan muna usab
no comme ça gadi no nyi ala tinya nyi wala usab ala ni masino ni ko ba tama ka wato min na bile ka jiso sai na selena nyi wona na problem so na mo sana priya bin ka bi ni ngere ngama so mara jini kana bara kana sembo sai na tere ko ma ni yanko ma ko ne priya na selena nyi jige ni mara problem ko sala na kana o mu sama nan ni sama na ko ni masana ni jige ko tan ko flo jibe ko ni obeti ara na ta pada pada ni ma problem so ko ni problem bi je fa ka selenda ni selenda do wati sai o fona liyum ma ko aliyum selena ni kana ngaji ko ma problem ko sala na kana firo be kama mun sanin president ko kuriya gondi ni na sama ko kom kuriya jube ni fo ala filo ni fo wolle boto nyo bala ba wala na jini mo ko so ni na sama jibri ya jube ko nyo ko man ka filo ni boto nyo bala ko man ka president ko masini wala fa jeni wala na ko jini so ko kadi ni ko
Buru kabiri masi woni tinyata amana kom kata mol yal melen ko mo fanka malon pour ça daima masi wona because ni ngari no ngaje la kumatele because natelo do ko kijang mi ba kala di ngola karam jobo ni ngari no so kabiri masi wona retinya almo futa mol sati molto wala masakunda do ko lal musal isal di mano
sati mol yalla no ko sen ngari no tinyata ando hana masakunda fana akil ko timi yana ko do le masakunda timi wala yana ko ngari no ni tinyata fana ngana ko di photo di la ko sai ko sala ko ngari no ni man tarata yalla ne ngama ni fo fana la donc bulo ni wala ma fara non ma hana sande di wana na gaddu ni man da baro ni yo sen ko son ka
comme lonne ko telen musola na ton ko jang ngari no ida fana ni almanna comme atol musola alman akatake musa tuna no gari no fana se asetara no anyama ko atu anyama nyama
kala to ni sembe ta wala param ko sambe na katano don wala de param be na katu don wala de alu man ko la do param lu dal ko kan pour ni sa fo len gadi no sa fasi ni na ko fasi ni na ya
min tembo to muna to la ala wosi kuoti alla fama la ngari no to
be ngani no lafta min na je sansan mun nañu sele lañ ñi me ko problème so
wala masingo ñi
lafta na masingo ñi me ko problème so lafta wala sansan jio prosi jio so no ñaan ya ni len sansan ñi fana ko fana bi tiñata ko prosi sansan ñi fana ko fana
kam do ko jio la kole ya wala na gadi no man amantara kata nyama ko sto yalon gadi no fana di tanu ni jio man taraje so al solata masimo la misaki na ko masimo se tanko soplano so ar fana ala na ko jibono kam do ko sixième fana melu nyama ata sixième malani ja
ka sixième fana malani
muna na sixième malani man tarata maka nyama
sixième fana de ta kan ni bari jalan saya gioti ta saya nin jio fana de jalan si so ni ta si so ni fana sulu ta kira wati ni ye geni jida sumonda sente ibo fana na e gido fana ki jio ya sa ne kan ko man tarta ka ita si so manan ko
kam do ko jio la manke bali awol fana atina si fana man na malani vice nim president la bora diamo la sai vice president musola nyaton ko fulanya woni wala kana diamo ite toni
na wa son kay
na ba e bora nyin sare to Jappineh jang ifana belon do wala ni gari no kono okay kabinna ta ngaje le gari no amantara tama kan anyame comme anyata tala nyame because ngalo ne ko kabin gari no starter atul be kana jana ta do ko jang but wari sota do ko stop ta sansangol be bajala be tinyata si sel mantara jang jio mantara kering kuno sabu
wala kan president wa fanya na makino ndo ji ku kino wala gari no balta na jio problem mo sa de mas problema jio lo ta gari no do ko mas wala man ko ya ko dia
bar kabrin jiyo benin jang wotu mo minara jang ikamu so do ko la watu wat
watu mo jibe watu me watu na jas tilibula samanda wala rena nya watu do ko continue wrong andun ka soto ke jawal nyama andun dafta men ka su jawal nyama andun dafta ko fere den nga do ko jang ko nyama akan na fasin kiroto akan na fan na dindo la karo dimbala sana
sa kam to ko ka soro mun soro aka mun soro no wotu mo kabin gadno bi jang sa bu ko soro
ni sambo ko soto ko jamale la administration
sa sante ngatol Jappineh musola kala gadno ko mo do sa sante jamono
ande san men dia Jappineh jang gadi nan dole be marko to gadi no do man limbi kile tembe do man limbi sa na ra farate na dole ka ja sa no ko do man limbi ko do ko do man limbi
alo gadino to jio bi jel ko jio kala fana bi jel
an ka ji ko le bi ka do ni saba ko la la do yo la do tanko do lo to bare ko kan tanko man ji ko bo la ko la bi ko to kan ka ji sa
kora to la hamo munti wolong ale jio soro jang albe na jang ale dugo ko jang
ina mun na hamoti mbe na jang sa to be na jang na do ko jang ko min to ka jang nyame ngai ruwani nyarta men soro jang lafta ko ke pole mur na jang nin ale de maras kala mo do
ya rebe mun e mun soro be mun fala masa ko ndae anin mun mi alon ko fanka malon
si men fo ne donc comme to be de maro ni kan masa ko ndabulu ande mo ya ko sembo so ni mo mo ya ko simma ko ni na Jappineh ka no problema de na do ko na poto ba kale na yemma ko na do ko ka nyama na sa to yirwa
ijigita ko ni masa ko ndale amako wala di modol mi alon ko fanka malo ya mako alin gadino abetala nyato
kanka utanya to alhamdulillah na lima ya do to kai comme ni yemma ko do ko ni bitanya to
ko ngajele ko amandang gadino damala sisel fana mbak aba kol konon
poti sisel fana be jere comme president fanya au jiko kila ni sisel fana ko na sinde mbuli ay hade ma don ka tara jago mom be ka tara sabata nyoro nya sisel do ko kata nyama sisel yirwata nyama andon ke to ko to na nyama fana jira fana la ba be je stop la do sisel la ko na 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 so ko be batal la ren
dafe ngol dung yama bugal batandi munya mundu ko ni sol falol sadio le bugadu nani gadino ko kana la firi ko ngol dum
kan ka wada wato men san sa do ke ko wato mo do kana ber bi san sa tinya ko ma sedro ko le aposo de ba ko kana to
okay so kam to ko wadu suran gadino kabe ade ya san bo kaba abita kan tikajele dafe ngol ko dum nyan kala ko ngol dum
san sa so de tinya de ko mo do ya de ne lo ka ko mo ka kati din san sa ko tinya ko ma sedro de lo ka do ko le kana ko ka la de pa yes pour moi fi ko ta yi ko ndata nya ko je asin ta jira kala kabrin je stop la
Sonunsa
Afternoon.
what are your names
My name is Lamin Sane.
Lamisane I also realize that you are among the youth leaders in this community called Jarra Jappineh.
Yes, I'm a youth leader.
Okay, today we are here in this garden, which is the vegetable gardening meant for growing of vegetable here in this community. Can you tell us a brief history about this garden? When does this garden start, and then which institution or agency was able to establish this garden here?
Well, the garden was established maybe in a way back, maybe in 10 years back. It was established by FAO. Yeah, it was established by FAO.
We also realized that this garden it is made of 5 hectares, and then when it was established, the garden was functioning normal. Because when I interviewed the women, they told me that the garden was functioning because there was adequate supply of water, and in fact, at some point, they were looking after poultry chickens here. But suddenly, we realized that the garden is no more functioning. What are some of the causes why the garden is no more functioning?
Well, the most important challenges that we have in the garden is the water shortage. You know, the cylinder could not work as expected. So for that being the case, we cannot grow our vegetables here. And the same thing, we cannot keep animals here, the poultry here. But the main thing is the borehole, the water shortage.
The main problem why this garden is no more like before is because of the inadequate supply of water, because the machine is no more functioning.
It's no more functioning.
What were some of the benefits that women were, gaining from this garden when it was established newly?
Well, it was enormous because most of the women, in fact, all the women in this community cultivated their vegetables here. Huh? This helped them to improve their nutrition and also to get their income. So, the garden to be like this is a big challenge for us. and it's drastically reduced our income.
For how long has the garden been like this?
Well, it's about 3 years now. We have been trying, up and down, but we could not manage anything. In fact, when we went up to the FAO, but they said when they establish their garden is finished, they cannot, the maintenance is not part of their work.
Were you guys able to do some effort so that the garden can continue to prosper?
Yeah, the women were doing that. Every woman, if you grow your crops here, at the end of every season you contribute. But most of those things were used together with with agricultural people. Sometimes go contribute this and this. So they still have a sum which is not much at the bank. You see.
So, what do you have for the government and other philanthropies?
Well, we are just requesting anybody who can render us help so that the garden can also come again. Because it's really a concern.
Also, I was told that the solar panels were also stolen by people here. So, because of the solar panels are no more here, it's also another problems in terms of you people getting water.
Yeah.
What do you have to say?
Okay, the problem with the solar, one time it was stolen. At night we could not find it. So we try locally within ourselves. Even this solar panel that is replaced is bought by the village the garden committee here. So it's a challenge, and it's not up to standard like the ones that were there before. So it's really a challenge, and also the fence also. Most part of the fence is already destroyed. So it is also a challenge.
So, which means you are also calling for the government to support not only in the area of water, but also in the fencing area also.
Yeah, water and fencing also.
Water and fencing.
Yeah, water and fencing are our main problem. All these women in this community do come here. There are about 1,000 plus women contributed here.
So now that this garden is no more operating, what are some of the things that the women in these communities are engaging themselves to earn a living?
Yeah, some are engaging in this backyard gardening at their homes and a small garden there in that part of our village. That is where they are scrambling to at least cultivate something. But it's not enough. The land, that place is not enough.
But the wish of this community is to see that the garden is brought back to life.
Exactly. That is what we all hope for. That the garden will come back to its original form, so that we can cultivate our crops normally.
How will this garden help to support the community development?
Yeah, it will because we hence is contribute to our nutrition. It also contribute to our income. So that alone is obvious that it will at least help us to develop the community.
All right, thank you so much. Okay, still in this garden that is at LRR in Jarra Central. In this garden, there is a tank which is meant to store water. As you can see, the tank, it is still there, is standing as it was before, but it is not functioning. And because the tank is not functioning, that is why the garden also, the women could not or cannot able to continue in vegetable growing here in this place. So this garden is one of the biggest gardens so far within this area. And most of the women in this community, they usually convert here to grow vegetables. And of course, when the vegetables are mature or when the vegetables are grown, then later they will take them and sell them to the market in order to earn a living to solve their problems or to solve some of their economic problem. But as you can see right now, women here, they have nowhere to go so that they can engage in vegetable gardening. That is why they are calling out to the Gambian government and to the non-governmental organization NGOs and other philanthropies to come and give a helping hand so that the garden can continue to function as it was before. And in this garden also, there is a poultry farm here where women also were engaged in poultry farming. And of course, they make good use of this poultry, especially in the chicken and of course in the eggs. Because most often, when the chicken lay eggs, they will collect these eggs and of course go and sell it in order to also earn a living. In this garden, two women also, the money that they earn They used to contribute, and when there's a problem, maybe there's a problem in what I call irregular water supply, then they will plow back that money so that the garden can continue. But at its stand right now, the women have no source of income in order to embark or to engage themselves in that. So when you look at this place here, this is the machine. In here is a well where water is stored. Inside here, in fact, the water is there right now, but there's no machine that can able to take the water up there to the tank so that the tank can be filled. So right now, even if you can see, this here is a tank. Oh, sorry, it's a hole where there is water. There is plenty of water here in this hole, but there's no machine that can supply or that can able to bring up the water direct to the tank up there so that the tank can store water. So it's a major problem that the people in this community are encountering as it stands right now. We all know agriculture is the backbone to every country. It employs about 80% of the people in a country. So without agriculture, no country will survive. So these women here, they really need support at the moment. In fact, as you can see now, we are no more in the rainy season. We are in the dry season here in Gambia. So after dry season, most often women engage in vegetable gardening. So the only place that is women in this community have is here. But there is no water. It's a major problem. And if there's no water, there'll be no gardening. Is the area for the solar panel. This solar panel is the one that usually supply electricity to the machine so that the machine can then pump the water directly to the tank up there. But also, when you look at the solar panel, it was not the original panels that were here. We were told that the panel were stolen by people. So the village communities and also the women that were engaged in this garden or that normally engage themselves in this garden, they contributed their money and were able to have some solar panels. But these solar panels are not powerful compared to those panels that were here. So it's also another major problem that the women in these communities are facing right now. So they are calling all out to the government and also the NGOs to give a helping hand to the community so that they can have a well standard and installed solar panel that can be able to help the machine or a machine, and then we can able to transport the water direct to the tank. So as you can see, it's a very, very big solar panel, but then it is not powerful compared to the previous panel which was here before it was stolen by people. Now, inside this garden also, we have taps installed in most part of this garden. Where I am standing right now is also a tap which was installed. So when this tank is filled with water, then when it is open, then you see now the tap also will be functioning. Then the water will be coming to this area here inside, and the water will fill this entire square area. So when this place is filled with water, then they will close the tap, and when the tap is closed, then women will come with their bucket, then they will collect water here and go and water their garden. So as you can see right now here also, there's no water. Why? Because the solar is not functioning, and there's no machine here that can supply the water to the tank. That is why this place is also not functioning. As you can see, it is the transportation of water from one part of the garden to another. But right now, as at the moment, it is no more functioning due to inadequate or irregular supply of water in this community. So it's a call for concern to the Gambia's government. It's a call for concern to the NGOs outside there to come and give a helping hand to the people in the community so that they can embark on vegetable gardening and then to support themselves and of course their family members at home. This is GamAfrica TV. I am your presenter, Ali Utarawa.